1000. Let's talk some football. The Bears are practicing right now up at Hallis Hall. Tomorrow, Matt Eberflus will speak to the media. OTA is going on this week up at Hallis Hall. The media is not there today. The Bears, though, are releasing some highlights on social media. A beautiful pass in gym shorts from Caleb Williams to Rome Odunze in the back of the end zone. Jurk, getting fired up. Here we go. Football time.
Not quite going to do it for me, but I'm sure it's going to do it for all the fans. Yeah, I'm sure the fans will be happy. They'll look at it and say, see the throw, see the throw.
Look at the throw.
And then when they get into the team concept and there's struggles, I'm like, there's going to be struggles.
Yeah.
He's getting used to it. It's going to take time. You can't judge too quickly. I need him September 8th. That's when I need him. Ready to rock, ready to roll on September 8th.
Yeah, and I would add this as well with the thought about Caleb Williams and the reports last week that he struggled. Part of me looks at it from the opposite point of view where this Bears defense should be one of the best in the league. Therefore, a rookie quarterback just getting started should not show up day one.
Yeah, and be lighting them up like a Christmas
a top
tree.
5 quarterback. Now, if that's what the reports start to leak out and suggest, then boy, we have a hell of a quarterback in front of us. But I think this is more about this defense is locked and loaded, ready to go. They played great in the last 2 months of last season, and they should show up this year whenever they start practicing, whenever the pads go on, ready to thrive.
And the defense is always ahead of the offense, period.
Always
Even
ahead.
if you don't have a good defense, the defense is always ahead of the offense.
On ESPN.com today, they have released the NFL Power Index for this upcoming season, the 2024 projections, Super Bowl chances, playoff odds. They have the whole list, Jurko, and the Chicago Bears are listed at a percentage to make the playoffs at 41.6%. They have a 13.2% chance to win the division. They also have a 1.1 chance to win the Super Bowl, a 2.3 chance to make the Super Bowl. So this is FBI. A lot of people look at it, use it throughout the year. From game to game, it's all the stats compiled for ESPN.
Right.
You can take it for what it's worth. This is just what they're suggesting. They are also suggesting that the Bears' win total, their win-loss record, would be 8.8 and 8.1. Not a number you can gather from playing 17 games, but they would suggest that they're more likely to be at the, I misread that, it's 8.6, 8.4. So you're a little bit over 8.5, so you lean towards the 9 wins. But you're right there. 8-9 wins is what they're projecting in FBI.
I think they're going with the historical performance of rookie quarterbacks and the odds that the rookie quarterback's not going to make a 17-game season.
Yep.
So that's probably what they're looking at, historical rookie performances over the course of time. Even Troy Aikman with the Dallas Cowboys, they stunk his rookie year. The whole team stunk. I think he walks into a better situation. I think Peyton Manning, when he went to Indianapolis, they were on the struggle bus a little bit too. They were building their team. That's what they were doing. They were finding a way to build their team. So I think this team is further along, and the quarterback has got to find a way to catch up to this team. The number I pay attention to is 41% to make the playoffs. That's all I really care about. I don't anticipate with Detroit and Green Bay here, and I will give the Chicago Bears zero credit and will never pick them to beat the Green Bay Packers again until they beat the Green Bay Packers for the first time. Then once I realize it's a viable option, a Bears victory over Green Bay, then there's a chance the next time they play, I can take the Bears in the victory again. But they match up well against Detroit. They're going to beat Minnesota twice this year. That I don't worry about. 41% to make the playoffs. It's perfect at the beginning of the year. I think they can make the playoffs. I don't care what their number is for the Super Bowl, and I don't care what their number is to win the division.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're there yet to do that. What I care about the numbers are 11 victories, which still could put them third in the division, 11 victories, but 11 would put them at 100%, I believe, to be in the playoffs. So 3 teams from the division going to the playoffs. If all quarterbacks stay healthy, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, and Caleb Williams. 3 teams can go to the playoffs. Some divisions stink. We know who those divisions are. They're terrible.
Okay, so a couple of things. You said 11 wins. If the Bears get to 11 wins based on the FPI from ESPN, they would win the division, and they would be the second best team in the NFC. If we run through the top of the board, this is how FBI kind of ranks it out. San Francisco 1, Kansas City 2, Detroit 3, Dallas, Baltimore, Philly, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Green Bay, Houston, Miami, Atlanta, New York Jets, LA Rams, Chicago Bears. So if you look at it from that perspective, San Francisco would be the 1 seed. The Lions would be the 2 seed. Dallas would win their division, be the 3 seed. Philadelphia would be the first wild card team. Green Bay would be the second wild card team. And then the Atlanta Falcons would be the third wild card team. They're projected out with a chance to make the playoffs at 67%. I did that wrong because Atlanta would win a division, right? So you would get them into the playoffs. And then the last team would be the Rams. So the Rams are right before the Bears. They would be the final, LA Rams would be the final team into the playoffs, which would have the Bears as the first team left out. The Rams' percentage to make the playoffs is at 47%. The Bears is at 41.6%. So the stats are suggesting what we've all just kind of basically been talking about this entire offseason, that the Bears are going to be in the mix with the Rams, the Falcons, Seahawks, Buccaneers.
In the hunt.
And those are the teams.
Remember, they were 5-9 last year and still in the hunt. Remember,
right.
The Bears were appearing on the schedules at 5-9 in the hunt. One of the final teams that was in there.
And I think that's why that early, I believe it's September game against the Rams. It's going to be a big deal.
Yes,
it's going to be a game at Soldier Field. That game is going to go a long way into determining whether or not the Bears can make the playoffs. Because if this is right, and they're projected to be around 8.6 wins, and the Rams are at 8.8. It's essentially the same. You're looking at it's the Rams are they're the team you have to beat.
So there's 9 games, 9 games before we start playing a division game, right?
Yeah.
9 games before you start playing a division game. 1 against Frisco, 1 against the Rams, one against the Houston Texans, right?
Yep.
Those are your 3 kind of challenging games, and then first 9. I've got the Bears going 7-2, and they're going to have to go 7-2. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, they have to set it up.
They have to set up the early portion of their schedule. That's why it's imperative that they take training camp seriously and then don't treat it like a joke the way Eberflus treated it last year. Hey, I was upset. I was visibly shaken after I watched that first practice last year. It bothered the living hell out of me. It's supposed to be the most intense practice of the week. I'm watching this, and I'm like, this is unrecognizable to any type of competitive football I've ever seen in my life. What in the hell is going on out here?
Abdallah and I were filling in for Greeny. And so we were on the blacktop.
If they didn't have helmets on, I wouldn't have thought they were playing football.
I know. And we were there for training camp. We're on the blacktop up in the fan festival area. You walked down to see practice, and then you came back early.
Despondent.
And you sat in the truck with the air conditioning on because you were uninterested in seeing any more of this crap that they were trying to tell you was football.
Yeah. I was not happy.
And then the rest of the time that we spent up at training camp, you would get there on time, and you would just hang out in the car and hang out near us.
Yeah. I don't need to watch practice. What they were doing was not an NFL practice in my mind's eye.
Right. It's not what you went through.
Thayer told you the same thing.
Oh, I agree. Thayer was on that as well. Anyone who is a former player would say that it's not the same
Jason
of what
McKee,
it was.
McKee looked at it, but listen, nobody wants it what it was. What it was when I was in Miami, when Don Shula used to beat the living hell out of us for 2 practices a day, and it would be a godsend if he told us we could take the pants off, go out there in helmets and shoulder pads and shorts, or take the pads out and just wear your bottoms. It was a godsend. Okay, nobody wants that anymore. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But at some point, you've got to tackle and you've got to bring somebody to the ground, because that's what they're going to ask you to do at the beginning of September. After Labor Day, you've got to bring people to the ground. And if you never practice bringing people to the ground, then you're going to have a problem. Well, you got to prevent injuries. Listen, injuries going to happen. The guy could just be running, and all of a sudden he's got something that happens to him. He cuts, and boom. Are you not going to run? Are you not going to run pass patterns? Are you not going to play the game of football because you're protecting people from playing the game of football so they can play football during the year? I mean, what the hell's going on? At some point, you got to bring somebody to the ground, and you've got to practice and have a physical NFL practice. Some of the crap, and it was teaching such bad habits. And it bothered me. And then the ultimate insult, the ultimate punch in the face, the ultimate kick to the nads was when he said this 3-13 football team, right? The year before.
Correct.
This horrendous football team that you had. When you came out and you said, you know what? We've had 3 good days of practice, and this team, these guys don't have to play. I go, did we win the Super Bowl last year? Did I miss it? Did the Bears win the Super Bowl in 2022?
They didn't.
Then why treat them like they won a Super Bowl? They don't deserve to be treated like a Super Bowl winning team. Okay, this team didn't do crap last year.
They haven't done crap.
You sabotuged them, right? You lost intentionally because you wanted to get a good draft choice. I get it. I understand the concept. But don't treat them like something they're not. They're not Super Bowl champions. They got to get out there. They got to earn their stripes. They got to earn their keep. Why is Jalen Johnson a gazillionaire now? Because he earned it on the football field.
He went out on the football field.
He went out and he performed.
Yeah.
Okay? You've got to perform. And the only way to perform is by doing. And if you take away the doing aspect of it all, then you're doing it wrong. So when everybody wanted to fire Eberflus last year, the one thing that saved them was the fact that these guys are playing for Eberflus. And that's one of the most difficult things to do as a coach. To get guys to buy in, to get the guys to have faith, to get the guys to believe. He's got these guys believing, okay? But at the beginning of the year, I didn't believe in nothing. I didn't believe what he was doing was good at all. This training camp needs to have a different atmosphere. It needs to have a different attitude. And if I go up there and I see the same crap I saw last year, I'll be out on the blacktop, right?
Getting the AC in the car.
I'll be getting the AC in the car if that's where they put us again, because I'll only go up there once if we're on the blacktop. I promise you this, and you're hearing it here now. If I'm on that blacktop again this year, one time, and the rest of the time, I'll have the blue flu. 100% correcto.
Who are you talking to when you're saying this?
The powers to be.
Powers to be, not at.
No, the powers to be.
Powers to be, okay.
The people that can help us.
Okay. Powers to be.
Get a bird's eye view of what the hell is going on.
You want some grass underneath our little tent.
100%.
Some grass. You want to feel the grass.
I want a heightened razor.
You want an elevated?
I want an elevated razor so I can see the practice.
Whoa,
I
what
want
are
to
you,
be up
Vern Lundquist on the 17th hole?
Give me 7 feet. Exactly.
16th hole?
Exactly. If the
At
golf
Augusta,
guys
you want a little perch?
If the golf guys are up higher, the radio guys need to be a little bit higher.
You think we're going to be able to pull off a little perch for you to watch practice?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll follow your lead. If you're leading us to grass,
I'm going to be perched up
for these broadcasts, I'm with you. I'm all about it.
Well, we are the radio rights holders, aren't we?
I know. I'm just saying. I'll follow your lead.
You don't put baby in the corner. You don't put Jurko in the parking lot. That's not the way it works. Okay? If you don't put baby in the corner, Jurko's not in the parking lot. Just remember that.
To your point, they do have to get off to a hot start because we have talked about how Tennessee is the first game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, beat the Titans.
Yeah.
Well, if you need to stack wins early and somehow you flub that and you lose to Tennessee opening week, your odds to make the playoffs dwindle.
They plummet. They plummet. That's one of those games that you have to have.
You have to get it.
There's no gray area. It has to happen. It has to happen for the Chicago Bears. You've got to come out of the box. You got to come out hot. You got to come out ready to play. You got to be playing your best football coming out. And that gives you a chance to be successful in the early portion of the year, which you have to be successful because the final 8 games, 6 of them are against the division. Now, Minnesota might be a walk in the park, maybe, but you still got to go out there and win those games. It's hard. Early in the season, Tennessee thinks they got a chance at the playoffs. Right?
Everyone does.
Everybody believes they're going to. What you've got to do is you got to start taking their will away from them, and it starts with the first game. And guess what? Houston on Sunday night is not going to be a walk in the park at all.
That's going to be a tough football game.
Yeah.
And always remember, never put Jurko in a corner or a parking lot.
Don't put me in a parking lot.
Don't put him in a parking lot.
On the blacktop. I mean, that's no good for me.
No good.